Brent Stone. I'm a medical marijuana patient. I'm an activist. Before I get started, I just want to address one quick thing. The lady before me talked about the coolers coming in the front door. Chances are what that was being delivered was not the actual buds, but that's called medibles or medicinal edibles. And the edibles are for patients who cannot smoke the medical marijuana. They have to take it in edible form. And the edibles need to be refrigerated. And so that's why you will see coolers coming in, big coolers. Now, if you complain they're coming in the front door, people would complain if they saw them going in the back door. So it's a no-win situation for the collectives. I want to go on the record, I'm all for regulation. We need regulations here. What worries me is you talk about a possible cap on the number in the city. And I just don't see how we can quantify the number of outlets until we know how many patients there are. When the city put the moratorium in 2007, there was approximately half a dozen doctors that specialized in writing recommendations. Now we have over 3 dozen doctors advertising in the Jet magazine. So the patient base has exploded since we put the ordinance in 2007. I also want to ask the city attorney if the extension that city council put on the moratorium until March of 2010, if that is legal or if that violates the California government code that prohibits the emergency ordinance from lasting more than 2 years. And I think that's going to be an interesting concept on September 15th, the day after the original ordinance came in. How you came up with the 1,000 feet, I want to know where that number was grabbed from. A friend of mine is an attorney who represents most of the strip clubs in town, Roger John Diamond, you may know. For the strip clubs, it's only 600 feet and they can get variances. So hopefully there'll be something written into there. We need sensible regulations. But what I hear from a lot of the neighborhood councils and from the people that are against medical marijuana dispensaries and collectives is just hatred and anger that is reminiscent of 1937 when marijuana was made illegal. And if you do research into Harry Anslinger, who was the Federal Bureau of Narcotics head, he testified in front of Congress in 1937 that marijuana was making the black jazz musicians in Harlem lust after white women, and it was making the Mexicans in the Southwest lazy. And that's why marijuana was made illegal in 1937. And I'm hearing the same kind of bold racism and hatred from a lot of the neighborhood councils. And this is not a drug issue. Somebody brings up a dispensary, opens up in Boyle Heights where there's gangs. There's gangs all over Los Angeles. But there's also medical marijuana patients all over Los Angeles. And I understand the concerns for people. But we need to work something out whereby the citizens who are patients, I mean, this is America, you don't need to be in the majority to have a right. We came here because you could be in the minority and be accepted. And if you can give me a valid reason, I mean, a person says somebody, the loud stereo, the rolling beer bottle, absolutely, that's atrocious. There's bad behavior by some patients, but there's bad behavior in all groups by all people, and you can't take us all and say that because I had a bad experience with 1 or 2 people, that all of the patients should be down. And I just hope that people will step back for a minute. And I apologize if I was out of line at the beginning of the meeting because this is something I'm very passionate about. I'll wrap it up. You're giving me the signal. I'm glad I came here. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. And I just ask that you really look at the issue and not get so bad when you hear marijuana, because it's really for medicinal use. And if anybody wants my phone number and wants to talk to me on a one-on-one basis, I'll make myself available afterwards. Maybe people need to be educated about what we are and what the medicinal is about. Thank you.
Thank you. I just learned something, and I appreciate